Welcome to my channel, friends. Today we are starting a new section from the book of Numbers, chapters 11 to 20. If you missed the previous chapters, you can check them out on my channel. So, let's begin our journey together. Chapter 11, Complaints and Quail. The people started complaining about their troubles in the desert. They forgot God's blessings and became ungrateful. God sent fire at the edge of the camp, but when Moses prayed, the fire stopped. This place was called Taberah, burning. The people were tired of eating manna every day. They cried, "We want meat like in Egypt." Moses felt overwhelmed. He told God, "I cannot carry all these people alone. It's too heavy for me." God answered by choosing 70 elders. He placed his spirit on them, and they began to prophesy as a sign of his power. God sent a strong wind that brought quail from the sea, covering the camp. But those who ate greedily with no respect were struck with a plague. The place was called Kibroth Hattava, graves of craving. Moral: complaining and greed lead to destruction, but trusting God with gratitude brings blessing. Chapter 12, Miriam and Aaron oppose Moses. Miriam and Aaron criticized Moses because of his Cushite wife, showing jealousy. God suddenly called all three, Moses, Aaron, Miriam, to the tent of meeting. God came down in a cloud and defended Moses. "He is faithful in all my house. I speak to him face to face, not in visions." Miriam was punished with leprosy. Her skin became white as snow. Moses prayed for her, and God said she must stay outside the camp for 7 days before being healed. The whole camp waited until she returned, showing how sin affects the whole community. Moral: jealousy and pride bring discipline, but humility and prayer bring restoration. Chapter 13, the 12 spies. God told Moses to send 12 spies to explore Canaan, the promised land. They spent 40 days checking the land, cities, and people. They brought back grapes so large they had to be carried on a pole, plus pomegranates and figs. 10 spies gave a fearful report. "The people are giants. We are like grasshoppers in their eyes." Only Joshua and Caleb trusted God. "The Lord will give us this land. Do not fear them." Moral: fear makes us small, but faith in God gives us courage to overcome. Chapter 14, Israel's rebellion and judgment. The people cried all night and wanted to return to Egypt. They even planned to stone Joshua and Caleb for speaking faith. God appeared in glory at the tent of meeting and said he would destroy them. Moses prayed for mercy, reminding God of his character. "The Lord is slow to anger, abounding in love." God forgave them, but declared punishment. Everyone over 20 years old, except Joshua and Caleb, would die in the wilderness. They would wander for 40 years. 1 year for each day the spies explored. Some Israelites tried to go into battle without God, but they were defeated badly. Moral: rebellion and unbelief bring loss, but faith and obedience bring victory. Chapter 15, Laws and Tassels. God gave laws about offerings when they entered the promised land. Grain and drink offerings were added to sacrifices. God reminded them the same law applied to Israelites and foreigners living among them. A man was found gathering wood on the Sabbath. He was stoned outside the camp as God commanded. God told them to wear tassels on their garments with a blue cord to remember his commandments every day. Moral: God calls his people to live holy lives, always remembering his word and commands. Chapter 16, Korah's rebellion. Korah, a Levite, Dathan, Abiram, and 250 leaders rebelled against Moses and Aaron, saying, "All the people are holy. Why do you set yourselves above us?" Moses fell face down and told them God himself would show who was chosen. The rebels brought incense before the Lord. God caused the ground to open and swallow Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and their families alive. Fire came from the Lord and consumed the 250 men offering incense. The censers of the rebels were hammered into plates to cover the altar as a warning. The next day, the people still complained. God sent a plague, killing 4,700. Aaron ran into the crowd with incense and stood between the living and the dead, and the plague stopped. Moral: rebelling against God's order brings destruction, but prayer and intercession can save lives. Chapter 17, Aaron's staff buds. To end the arguments, God told each tribe to bring a staff with the leader's name. The staffs were placed in the tent of meeting overnight. The next day, Aaron's staff had budded, blossomed, and produced almonds. This proved Aaron's priesthood was chosen by God. The staff was placed before the ark as a permanent reminder. Moral: God confirms his chosen leaders, and his authority cannot be challenged. Chapter 18, Duties and Gifts of Priests and Levites. God explained the duties of priests, Aaron and sons. They were responsible for the altar and sacrifices. The Levites assisted but could not do priestly tasks. Priests were given offerings, first fruits, tithes, and holy gifts as their provision. Unlike other tribes, the Levites would receive no land inheritance. The Lord himself was their inheritance. Moral: serving God is a privilege, and he himself is the greatest reward for his servants. Chapter 19, the red heifer. God gave the law of the red heifer, a special cow without blemish. The cow was burned completely and its ashes collected. These ashes were mixed with water and used for purification. Anyone who touched a dead body became unclean and needed this water to be cleansed. This pointed to God's holiness and the need for cleansing from sin and death. Moral: sin and death make us unclean, but God provides the only true way of cleansing. Chapter 20, striking the rock. Miriam and Aaron die. Miriam, Moses' sister, died at Kadesh. The people had no water and complained again. God told Moses, "Speak to the rock, and it will give water." Instead, Moses struck the rock twice with his staff, showing anger and not honoring God before the people. Because of this, God said Moses and Aaron would not lead the people into the promised land. Israel asked Edom for passage through their land, but Edom refused. Aaron was taken to Mount Hor, where he died. His son Eleazar became the new high priest. Moral: even leaders must obey God fully. Disobedience, no matter who does it, brings consequences. In the next video, we will continue with this chapter. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.